I will call to the order the public hearing regarding proposed vacation of alley. The proposed vacation was initiated by City Council resolution, and it's proposed to be vacated to avoid spending public funds on property no longer serving a public purpose. This recommendation resolution was initiated through our streets committee, so I will hand it over to Bruce, the streets committee.
Yeah, I guess, after you came to our meeting a while ago, and then I stopped, took some pictures of that one day and talked with you. The street committee recommended that it's an alley that really goes nowhere. It just goes down into the swamp.
Never has.
Never has, no, never will. So there is a legal process that the city can follow. This council can enact or start the process to abandon the alley. And it says the law, and we have our attorney here tonight, but the law says that if we abandon the alley, then the property that the alley would have occupied gets split up amongst the adjoining landowners. So will be up to you guys to figure that out. Our process is to hold a hearing tonight and take testimony as to whether we should or we shouldn't abandon the alley. And then during our regular council agenda, we'll take action based on what we hear from you as landowners. I think we have both landowners here tonight.
2 out of 3.
Well, we should do it, yeah. So that is the process we're going through. So I guess, Mayor, if you'd like to open it up for public comments from the audience, we would take those.
If you could state your name before you comment, so we have that for the record.
You guys want you started. When we received
Your name, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jeremy Green.
Nor Osborne.
Live at 110 West Elm Street. When we received the letter from the city with your intentions here to vacate, it was noticed public hearing, proposed vacation of the property. We immediately made a statement of support filed with you all. We would like to withdraw that support for the vacation of the property because of the way our neighbors feel about it. They don't want to vacate, is my knowledge, and I understand the reasons why. So we would like to withdraw our statement of support for vacating the property. This all started
because we want a driveway.
We want a driveway. What we have shown though, we did do is we offered a quitclaim deed for both
The other parties.
both the neighbors. I got copies of that. They should have their own copies. But they each received. So we offered as one avenue to do that in order to exhaust every possible avenue. What this shows is that both neighbors have primary access to their property that we don't have. And that if they were to have another access, that would be redundant, which is key in the statute, and that we initially just want primary access, and that if it's vacated or if it isn't, we request an easement that I believe already exists, because they couldn't have built that building there, the garage there, without one. and then there was gravel to it. And, if I had known before all of this started that I simply could have repaired or resurfaced that driveway without,
All of this.
without, a building permit or a permission or a fee or anything, I would have simply just done that. And then we wouldn't have done any of this, no need to vacate. What became a problem was when the city said that, no, you can't. Then I said, okay, well, plow it, mow it, resurface it,
It's an alley.
take care of your alley. Otherwise, in reality, for instance, Looney Days, nobody goes on. Nobody uses it as an overflow. Nobody's using it as an alley. They respect it as our private property. That's what it appears to be.
Yeah.
And
We came to the city council before COVID and asked, could we have it?
but we didn't understand what we were seeking was knowledge of the ordinance. Now that knowledge is readily available online and through AI. It's so, before it wasn't, and we had to go to the office, to the city office for council, then it became conflated. This is an alley, this isn't a driveway. So maintain your alley,
Let's see.
repair your alley. But yeah, even if this goes to court, we have a right to enough of that alley in order to make a hinged turn into our garage.
Okay.
And according to ordinance 412, 412. The one you probably always associated with.
Right.
The statute rather. And so, we would just, in all events, we're going to put
Thank you, Deborah.
gravel down.
We're gonna have a driveway,
Yeah,
either way.
every way.
And that was the reason for coming to city council in the first place.
But we apologize to our neighbors
Talk to them now.
and, we agree with them that we don't want it vacated. But we do want an easement in writing, if it exists, or even if it doesn't, that we get a driveway. That's it.
And you would like the city to gravel it? If it's
No.
No, we'll gravel
We'll
it.
We'll gravel our own driveway in the original imprint shown on the plat. That I have copies of if you don't.
I pulled it up on GIS, so I'm looking at it here on the GIS map when they counted, so, yeah.
Yeah, but it is shown on our plat generated in 2008 that we paid $2,300. She paid $2,300 for it. And
The survey.
we gave one copy of that plat to Carl, which was very generous of Laura, I think.
Yes.
But,
It
Yeah.
shows rock,
it shows rock, yeah.
and the rock was pretty much almost gone by the time I moved in 2008.
Mhm.
I have been maintaining that alley for 16
Mowing it,
years.
plowing it, and then only in the last couple of years, we said, okay, it's your alley, then you do this. So we don't really require that, we just wanted you to do what you should.
Because we came here before COVID and asked to put a driveway in, and the city council at the time said no, because there was a problem
They
and,
looked at a
the
plat
sewer
and they
cap
saw,
and-
I'm like,
yeah.
So
And we realize it's a different city council, but there is no reason that we should not have a driveway.
right, well, that's.
For 16 years.
That's understood, Laura.
And I
It would be
think-
our primary access to the property.
three of us are new since that time.
Yes,
You were here.
and we
Paul
understand
and
that.
Dean were here at the time, and Julie and James and myself were not, so,
Yes, and that's why we came back to city council.
yeah.
And all we've ever wanted is just the driveway.
But, you know, no, in light of how our neighbors feel about it, we agree with them, so. We would like you to not vacate it
And we'll maintain it.
and we'll maintain the original gravel footprint. So,
Now, the reason, you probably know this, the reason the garage is so close to the alley is that we didn't have ordinances and laws before.
yeah,
Now
I
you could-
Right,
you couldn't
we
build
don't
it.
even know what would possess them to build it
I-
with the door facing that way.
but there had to have been an easement when the permit was issued. Okay, if there wasn't, then we need one.
Yeah.
We need the easement. And we need it in writing to keep with our records,
Yep.
so.
Comments? They are noting what their neighbors.
Yeah, Sean Day,
Yeah.
251 First Avenue. Over in Island, also the same. If the city council chooses to vacate that property, we take half ownership of the land that's there. I fully intend to move the fence to exactly the half of that alley with 1 foot off of the property line that we have currently there. I need to make the assumption, get the assurance that if they are maintaining that alleyway, that over the course of, if it's 5, 7, or 10 years, I don't know what the Minnesota statute is for care of property before it becomes ownership of it. That it continues to be under a city alleyway instead of becoming their property because they're caring for it.
That would be 15 years, I believe.
As for caring for it, yeah, we have not moved snow on it, but for 29 years, we've mowed at least half of it, if not the whole thing.
That not pretty well.
I will take my time if that's all right. And yeah, it's been an alley. Be an alley. I don't know what the easement that he's speaking of, but anything I'm missing? And to make it very clear, yeah, I do not want the alley vacated.
Carl Hoffman, I do not want the alley vacated either, because when it's time for me to clean leaves and stuff, I use that alley. And I have mowed that thing many times myself. It's not a big deal. I don't mind mowing it or doing whatever with it, but I do not want it vacated either. Because I use it occasionally, but I do use it.
And we had no problem with that at all,
Never
ever.
Going back to it, yeah, I mean, obviously, it would limit my ability to access the rest of my lots behind, or our lots behind the house. That's our only way to access the 7 lots that are behind our house.
So what I'm kind of hearing is that 3 of the landowners are here, or Carl doesn't, well, I'm right there, but. uses the alley.
The owner's got the alley all the way back,
Back, okay.
except for just
The
in the very
3
first
landowners here. You know, first it was approached to say, well, we thought it was a good idea. We had a hearing, we're having the hearing as we speak. Now you're saying just leave the alley the way it is. And what you guys would like, I'm a little confused. You said you want an easement from the city to put gravel on. Is that what I'm hearing?
we want our primary access to our property, which would be an improved.
Yeah, but you'll do that at your expense.
That would
Yes.
do at our expense, and I don't know how if they wanna plow our driveway. I guess they can, but if I don't plow my driveway, I don't need them telling me to do it. So that should be in consideration as well.
And I don't know how an easement works on top of an easement. I mean, the easement is there right now for an alley, which means it's public use.
It's a dedicated alley and it's
Yeah.
dedicated to the public.
Yeah.
You don't get easements over dedicated alleys to the public.
But what we could do is let the record reflect, we give them permission to put gravel on the alley.
Well, the issue previously with City Hall, and it was another lawyer, was this, the manhole cover is right in the middle
Mhm.
of at the street.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
And doesn't that involve some kind of an easement or?
Well, you're gonna have some right of way along County Road 17 there also, which is county right of way for the road, you know, and I don't know
Okay,
what
so
they're.
that would be a county easement
Yeah.
type,
Yeah,
okay,
on 17.
Right.
Then we've got the alley that goes off 17 to the west.
Okay.
Yep.
okay. Well, so what we're looking for, what, is something in writing saying that we can,
Okay, easement may be the wrong word for it, but what I'm looking for is. See. If I had just gotten the ordinance, if somebody had just told me the ordinance without pulling out flats and this and that, if I had just said, oh.
we can put.
I can repair or resurface this driveway, that's what I would have done without a permit, without paying a builder's permit or whatever to improve the
But
property.
your driveway doesn't start at 17. Your driveway starts at the edge of the alley, correct?
Correct.
Your driveway is from the alley to your property.
It's from the ingress of the apron
Mhm.
and it comes,
To the alley.
it starts at a pinch and then starts back coming up. As you can see on
I see it right here. I
on
have
the
it.
flat. I know, but it's, oh, shoot, what did I drop?
Just a clip.
Just a clip. No, look at what he's got.
This is your alley. Your driveway is from here to here. This is the alley.
Right.
So your the
But-
driveway is not
See,
17.
No, the existing rock though is shown. It starts at the
At
very
17,
point,
yeah.
and if you think about. Look.
This isn't saying this
It
is your,
comes all the way, this gravel goes all the way over.
this isn't saying this is your driveway though. This is just
No,
saying that
this
this
is,
surface
that's,
was gravel.
yeah, and then this is, I guess, what you would purport to be my driveway, it's.
This is your driveway. This is saying that this is a gravel surface.
But the gravel shows, it says gravel here and surface here into
Yes.
the driveway and all the way through.
Yes.
On here represented, it would go just like.
That doesn't mean that this is your driveway. This means that this is the alley and that is your driveway.
Right.
So our driveway actually only goes to
Right.
the end of that cement slab coming out from the
So
ground.
there's an element, I couldn't.
The alley to the middle.
The alley.
To the alley.
Okay, so our driveway is only 10.
Now, if you split this in half, though, the length of our property here, if we split it in half, we wouldn't be able to make the hinge turn according to the statute.
Yep.
And what we need is rock to. In the
So,
winter time, we can
actually-
literally slide right on by.
If you don't vacate the alley, we're gonna be putting rock on the alley, right there.
Well, not
It's gonna make it
necessarily, not
difficult.
necessarily, but we will be looking for a legal remedy at that point.
I think we're hearing that all parties agree not to vacate.
Yes.
So what happens with that area is kind of, I don't know what Karen, that's beyond us. We don't make determinations of who does what here. The alley, there's
Right.
agreement, they don't want to
The
vacate.
purpose of the hearing is, to determine whether or not the alley should be vacated.
Right.
And that's it. All of the other things are issues for another day that are beyond the scope of this hearing and the things that are on the agenda. And an alley is, or a dedicated alley on a plat is dedicated to the public. And, the public has the right to use the alley and a particular individual can't. You can't, a regular road that people are driving on, you can't build, occasionally it happens, but you don't get to occupy, take for your own purposes, an alley or something or a road that's been dedicated to the public.
So you're saying we can't put gravel on,
I'm saying that whatever is being requested is beyond the scope of the hearing and the action that the council can take today.
Yeah, our action is to vacate or not vacate.
Yeah.
And we,
Oh, so we're gonna have to come back and ask you if we can put gravel on it?
no.
Because if we put gravel to the street so that we have a driveway that we can access our garage to and from, we would have to gravel the alley.
We only proposed to put gravel where gravel was.
Right.
Mayor, I guess since we've got the landowners here, I've asked those two parts, do you care if they put gravel on there at their own expense?
I do not.
As long as it's done appropriately, I guess. I mean,
It's gonna have to be a defined area. You can't just toss gravel wherever you wanna toss gravel.
No. We only want it from the corner of the garage to the street. And if you want a couple of feet to maintain mowing in front of the fence,
I just don't want you near my fence.
right, that's what we're saying.
Stay on your side, no damage to our fence.
The-
Well, we weren't
when
planning
we-
on going all the way.
When we
to the
make the
fence.
hinge turn, the bumper comes about 3 feet from your fence and the first tire is about 5 foot back every time. Or we'd be going through that fence. I only proposed to put gravel where gravel was as shown on the plat. It's shown here exactly where it was in the public alley and also on our private property. This is all I proposed.
I've been here for 29 years and I do not ever
I do not
remember
remember gravel.
a substantial amount of gravel.
Right, there wasn't much on.
Please, let me speak while I'm speaking. Thank you. This is never been gravel there in the 29 years that we have lived there. In any way except for something that might
Right.
wash off the road.
And even prior to when the garage was built, was probably about 25 years ago. Just the alleyway was just, it's the same as the alleyway that's between Carl's place and Vergas Auto. It was landed as an alley, it was never supposed to really have tar on it, but they went through and they put a skim coat of tar over the top of it. It was kind of an afterthought when everything happened. Then obviously they're not gonna improve the alleyway between there because it just doesn't get any traffic. So,
so we have gotten the feedback about the vacating. It is beyond the scope of this hearing. What you might do with that alley, you would need to work with your neighbors.
Right.
In terms of what they might, be supportive of. In terms of whether you gravel or what they may want, because this is strictly vacate or not vacate.
Either back to the street department or we can deal with it when we go to the council, but I think for all practical purposes, we're done with the hearing at this point.
Yeah.
So we are concluding the hearing, at 6:38. What?
You've asked 3 times.
Yep. Any other comments? We are concluding the hearing. This time, any further comments prior to us concluding? The hearing is closed. You are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to leave. We will be moving into our city council meeting agenda.
We're only staying to get to number 7.
We're staying, we're staying.
Julie, are you trying to bring?
I'm trying to get the participants to show. But, which I'm just gonna leave them up this way because we have that one person speaking. That's not here in a moment.
I will go ahead and call the meeting to order of the city council. As a reminder, our meetings are recorded and they are played on YouTube and via a link on the city website. So just so that you are aware, any Any participation or comments are part of the recording. Any other citizen concerns that come forward, Julie? Okay. Agenda additions or deletions. There, we are moving the fire board committee report and also moving the planning, the fire board committee report is new. The board met last night and have actions that will go under committee reports. We have the planning committee report that is in the consent agenda, and we are moving down to committee reports. And then, we have, just a little update on the railroad, that will be number 10, prior to us, adjourning. Any other, additions or deletions to the agenda?
I move to accept the modifications to the agenda.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call for the vote, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? We also have our approval of the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda except for the number 2 planning commission.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Otter Tail, oh, she's not there yet.
Right, so let's move on and we'll come back.
Vacation of Valley. We just had the public hearing. We heard from the 3 property owners with all expressing an interest to not vacate. Any other questions or comments from the council? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
I would make said motion to not vacate the alley noted in the hearing notice.
I'll second that.
Second. Oh, he seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
No.
Call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
We can go.
We're not vacating it, and then, I don't know, I would make a motion, see where it goes, to allow them to put gravel on the alley, at their own expense.
I'm not sure that's in our purview. I think they, as the neighbors, can
Yeah.
discuss that and make a decision.
But from a city perspective, if they want to gravel the alley, what difference does it make? As long as it's not city funds.
So then everybody gets to gravel their own alley then?
How wide is the alley? Do you
Just
do
a
the
second.
full width of the alley or
Discussion.
half?
We have a
halfway?
We did have a second.
No,
Oh, from his second motion.
Yeah. I just made a second motion that said they got a map that shows, he said it wasn't.
I'll second it, so we can discuss
And
it.
just say, they want to put some gravel in there, to use their garage, they need gravel, or they get stuck, they slide or go right by, so. You want to put some gravel in there, I don't see where it's a problem, they're doing it at their expense and their liability.
That
We're
opens
just
up
giving
everybody in
information.
town though.
Huh?
That opens up everyone in town to gravel their own alley.
Except for the ordinance that says that we can repair or resurface without permit.
Yeah, and there's no permit to gravel driveway required from the city.
But that's a driveway, not an alley.
Yes.
Yeah, we got no
Right.
problem if they wanna fix their driveway.
Well, we can keep this feud of brewing for 5 more years or 10 more years, and
Yeah,
we put the council right in the middle of it. It's a grass alley that has never been maintained by the city. We have a manhole in it. They want to get access to the garage. I made a motion to say, let them put gravel on it, but they may not get
I
approved.
mean, I guess it just on the side of it, having sat where he's at and you're at, he had the right thought. Is it opens up a can that should be looked into more. It's
I
not,
don't think-
it's not just one. I mean, if you look at the plats where the alleyways and stuff are at around the city, there's one along Pelican Avenue. If you go along behind, everybody's there. They have yards that are considered an alleyway. If one person gravels one spot and doesn't on another, just a thought.
Most people are not gonna take their own money and start graveling our roads. It'd be nice if they would, but they won't.
I'm putting myself in the old position of having to be up there
Yeah.
to think more than one step
And
ahead.
I'm not saying it's a carte blanche that everybody can do their own thing with gravel on our streets and alleys and all over town. This is a particular instance where a couple need access to their garage and they cannot drive back there when it's wet because they can't get into it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
can't get in there 7 months out of the year.
That's grass, slippery, yeah.
They wanna maintain it, I made a motion, but it may not, like I said, I'm only one of five, so.
Other discussion.
I absolutely think the same, that nobody else is gonna wanna start spending their own money graveling alleyways throughout the city, though. What a wonderful thing that would be. Because they should need it.
Yeah, and I think what Jim was indicating, does it set a precedent that, you know.
But
we're
we'll
all-
deal with each request as they come in. Maybe there is another spot where somebody wants some gravel. I don't know. We haven't heard of it. It isn't pending at this point in time. This is dealing with one particular instance, that's all.
You know, I think it should also be noted, though, I'm not intending to gravel the whole footprint of the alley. I only intend to gravel where gravel was shown by the plat exactly as much as possible.
Not to be persnickety, but the thing you were showing, I think, is your survey, it's not the plat map.
It was 2008, is there a new one?
The,
It is a plat map. It was given to us in the surveys.
They have a survey that just shows the alley. That's what they're doing.
where a plat map is a particular term of art, and it's something that's in the recorder's office, and.
That's where it was taken from.
So it's stamped.
It was included in our survey. It's stamped and everything, yep.
Expense.
I've got a question. If they gravel that alley and it, cause it's on a slope, obviously, goes this way and it goes this way. If that gravel crosses into their yards, does the city have to go in and clean up that gravel because it come off of that alley? And if it is, I don't think we should gravel. But I mean, that's been that way since I've worked here. It's always been that, and you know, we plow the snow on it because they wanted us to plow the snow.
That was only the last couple of years when we thought they should maintain their alley. But it was really just a retaliatory thing to do.
We still didn't have access, even when you plowed.
And given like, you know, if we do put our gravel there, I don't want nobody plowing for us. To be honest, so that wouldn't be a city expense and no longer be your concern.
Well, I was just worried about the gravel when it rains. I mean, we have a perfect example of the church up here. Every time it rains, it ends up in front of a bank. And same with over by Merle Quam's, goes down the road, it gets all the gravel all over. So now what I'm wondering is if it's on the
It really kind of slopes towards the center and
If we
other.
don't vacate, it still is public, so we can't just say it's now they're private.
that's what I'm saying, but
It is public, so, you know, the concern would be if they take action on their own, we don't know if the gravel's gonna be right, if it's, you know, in the boundaries, there's lots of parameters when you just let someone do it, that when we do things, there's so much oversight to make sure it's done correctly and that it isn't cause, you know, gravel to run, or it isn't over, or, you know, that's just kind of the problem when you just say you can do it without some oversight of the city, because it is not theirs, it is city public.
that's what I was, that's.
Yeah,
And whether you're gonna adversely impact any,
wastewater drainage and.
yeah, you're gonna water flow and stuff like that.
Other stuff, now I think about, we consider putting some topsoil down behind the hill and, you know, the silt barriers and everything that goes into everything. I didn't even think about that. Because you got water down below the
Yeah,
hill.
there's the slough down there.
It all runs downhill, you know?
So we have a motion and a second that would provide permission for them to go ahead and gravel to create a driveway. Any other discussion?
What we'd also like to do is, we have gauged how the turn we do to get into the garage. And we would like to leave you what you've been mowing.
Yeah.
We would like to leave that barrier there. We don't need it.
No,
We're able to turn in and out without that.
physical barriers like fences are always better than arbitrary lines.
What do we do with the fence that's on the right of way? According to the GIS website, Otter Tail County, the fence is already on the right of way of the alley. What are we gonna do with that?
The fence is on the right of way?
That's the way it looks from the aerial map. I mean, an actual
So
survey would
is
be
that, I was
permanent,
gonna
but
say, is that on the plat that they already have surveyed?
no, this is on the county's website. Otter Tail County website, the fence is on the right.
Oh, that's a whole new can of worms too.
You can go back 25 years when I put it there.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're just digging a hole, when you're in a hole, stop digging, we just keep
Yeah.
digging and digging and digging and.
Yeah, we don't
You're
care.
bringing up something that.
We don't care
our
anything about
motion.
that.
So our
That's why I
motion
say
is
that.
whether they can go ahead and proceed to gravel.
That's why I said that.
Place and maintain gravel on a city alley in front of their place by their garage for this particular instance. That's the motion.
And we have a second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. It carries.
One other alternative could be rock, small rock instead of gravel. That's not gonna.
Water moves things though. I mean, it moves gravel, moves rocks. It's-
Drug down.
Bigger the rock, it's more it's gonna move it. Yeah.
And the street department, just to let you know that you're here, we will bring some gravel up by your hydrant there, that, you know, it's wet whenever it rains, right where you park
Very
there.
appreciate
That'll be coming, we just, with the weather here, it's been delayed, but we will get you a load of gravel up there.
it.
No, we expected you would let us know when, so I can not park there.
Yeah, Mike can let you know, so,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, is, I can't quite tell is Sasha up there?
No.
Doesn't look like, okay. We'll go ahead and move on to committee reports, the Park Advisory Board. Who is speaking to that? Are you doing?
Had a meeting here the other day. Two items. The boardwalk warranty, they're looking what they had to do and moves to do, and now that one of these something else we can fix again. They're talking about next winter to possibly look into ice rink. And the ice and not we discussed some of the long way master plan. Pickleball and baseball fields was discussed on that. The big thing is the committee would like to see that the room be painted. It's gonna cost somewhere in the neighborhood of
$2,250.
So we have a recommendation from the park board for the painting of the loon. Are you making that motion, Dean?
Yep, I can.
We have a motion from Dean. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any other discussion? And I'm assuming this is out of the park board funds. It's already in the budget. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, he has hand up.
Hi,
Oh,
I
okay.
just was,
Carried. The painting of the balloon carried.
can I do something or can we?
We actually have Tasha,
Coming. If she doesn't come, then we're gonna turn.
Then
it
we can do nothing.
then you can address it if she doesn't get on board here.
Well, I can pass these cards out and there, who does?
Oh, that's true.
This Otter Tail, Lakes Country is something that we advertise in and they try to line up all the events. And get them, supported so everybody kind of knows where they're at. And I'm gonna pass these cards out. And, what this is, they're taking all over the county. They'll have,
Oh, the Giants.
keeping track of the Giants. And I thought, looking at this, how well the loons stuck out in this one.
Yeah.
Madison shiny and black. And they try to get everything, to promote everybody or as many people as they can with advertising. They are impressed with, and that probably isn't for this group, but they're impressed with how many people show up for these events. So, and I guess that's the rest of it. These Tasha does something she gets.
Okay, so
But it's supposed, if you read the directions in the back, they'll know what to do with it. I thought it was pretty cool.
okay. The next committee,
Uh,
did you have further
Did
recommendations?
we agree to paint the loon?
Yeah, we voted on
Yes.
things.
Oh, I did, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep, I did it right before.
I didn't listen to the minutes, I should go.
The fire board, meeting, the fire board met last night, so this got to the agenda late. Their actions they've taken are noted there, but there is one recommendation to the city. If you've noticed that, kind of the wall between Hanson's and the corner, it's crumbling, it's ready to go down.
It's
So
bulging.
the fire board did recommend that the city of Vergas and each of the townships contribute funding to cover the cost of reconstructing that wall. And it would be based on their percent of the budget. The Vergas percent of the fire board budget is 11%. They did take the lowest bid, and the lowest bid was $48,871.02. So our cost would be $5,375.81. The other townships will be addressing what their cost would be as part of this. The desire is to get this going this year because they feel it's ready to crumble and fall down. And as part of this, they also will be lowering that parking lot to be street level. So it won't be an elevation anymore. And then that side door, there might be like 2 or 3 steps to get in because of the lowering of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So they're the removal and the rebuilding and getting it at street level. And then ultimately they'll be asphalting it as well.
Okay.
So I'm proposing their recommendation for Vergas to contribute the $5,375.81.
I would make a motion that we go along with that proposed project at our recommended contribution rate.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Julie, the budget part that comes out of?
That would come out of safety. And so yeah, it will come out of the safety area. We have not budgeted for it. It wasn't a planned item. But so it will affect the budget from.
The budget, we're doing okay though thus far this year. We're well within budget.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
So at street level, does that get rid of the wall completely?
The one on the outside, there'll be a little bit between Hanson's and Hanson.
Oh, and yeah, Hanson's, but
There's
the
that.
street one,
Yeah.
the street one will be,
Yep.
level.
Yep.
okay, good.
If no other questions or discussion, call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? Carried. Then we have planning.
At our meeting last night, we're dealing with a garage over here. I forget the exact address. Julie, if you can.
350 Pelican Avenue.
350 Pelican Avenue. It's something that the city had actually taken the individual to court on quite a number of years ago. And the court issued a decree that the garage should be removed. Planning and zoning we have been discussing that periodically. The landowner voluntarily signed an agreement that he had until May 15th to remove his personal items that he wanted. And that after May 15th, the city and or their designated contractor could remove the garage and it would be at his expense. So I would make a motion tonight that we abate the violation and proceed with the demolition.
Approve the resolution.
Approve the resolution.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
And then I think, did you get a bid from Sonnenberg today?
I did, yes, so in your, it was added to your packet late, so if you look at the additions, it's in there. So the Sonnenberg bid is $5,500.
Okay.
And to remove that, to take care of everything. Looked at the city, the cost for city employees to do that, and this is a little figuration. I just assumed 16 hours. And so, and then with the dumpster, it would come to $4,566. That is just with my assumption that they can do it in 16 hours.
And our city staff are able to absorb this work versus us contracting it out.
That would be a light question.
The city staff are able to absorb these 16 hours within our current hours of duty.
I think for $5,000, Tori reckoned his equipment would be a lot better than us wrecking ours.
I would
Yeah.
agree with Mike.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, that building is fairly tall. You bump into it and it comes down on top of you or whatever. They're professionals. They have insurance. I would make a motion. We award the demolition of the garage at 350 Pelican Avenue to Sonnenberg Excavating for the noted bid.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And that was it from planning?
Yes.
Okay, staff reports, Blaine, I think you're on. Do you want to,
Oh, yes.
anything you wanted to highlight on your engineer's report?
No, nothing specific. The one update on there is that, I was able to essentially complete the gravel pit report. I don't have the physical copy. That's something I'm hoping to be able to send to the city tomorrow, or the digital copy rather. But met with Mike on Friday. We kind of looked at a couple things in town, just got a good overview of how the winter went. And then kind of looked at some of the punch list items for the parking lot project. And I saw that some of the topsoiling got done. And working with Mike and Julie to just kind of zero out that project as best we can.
Any questions of Blaine?
Blaine, I should know, we were out doing inspections yesterday for planning and zoning. It appears to me that Mr. Benkuski has modified his pond out there on Sharp Avenue, but I don't, Mike, I think he's redid that, hasn't he?
No.
No?
He built it. We looked at it. I'm speaking with for Blaine, apologize for that, but it just like all he did is built it up. It still isn't the 40 feet. I
Okay.
think it's 40 feet, correct, Blaine?
Right. Yeah. So essentially that the latest on that is, their engineer took a look at it. And they found the same conclusion that we did, that the storage capacity is insufficient, basically. And so the inlet is set too low, and some of the walls are too narrow. So essentially, it just doesn't have enough storage. So even if he does just add to the walls and make it higher, picture a cup. If you got the hole in the bottom, the hole is that's all the water level will get to, is to that hole. It doesn't matter how tall the cup is. So that's kind of where we're at on that. I did reach out to them, and they said they've got the plan in place. I don't know timeline for it, but it sounds like that's something they are working on to remedy, though.
Thank you for that clarification. I couldn't tell when we were out there yesterday. It looked like he had done some work, but like you said, it's still there. It does not meet the specification. So thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Julie, the clerk treasurer report.
All right, so my report is mainly in the packet, except, so The sad news, if you didn't read that in the report, is the taxes committee, did not, end up writing the bill for sales tax, so we will not be going to vote in November regarding sales tax. We can apply again next year if we want to. In Vergas, though, as you know, we only have elections every 2 years. So if the council decides that they want to move forward next year and try again, and they did approve it, then the city would have to pay for an election for that one. And I have not looked into the costs of what it would cost us to do that. But that is something, if you guys, want to look at it next year, then we would need to look into the cost of paying for an election. Otherwise, it would be 2 years before we could get it on the ballot again. So then in 2 years, we could go back to the Senate and the House to see if we could get it in the tax bill. My next item, I did have the Lions came in and chatted with me this morning, and commented on the EDA. We were looking, so we have in minutes that we were looking, that we had discussed with them about 100,000 to 150,000 in donations. But they came in and said that it has not went to their board or anything yet, and they're looking at 10,000 to 15,000 for the Vergas, growing up Vergas. My next item is the Ringdale subsidy, which was, Dean and myself attended. Ottertail County had a meeting regarding the ambulance. And they went over how ambulances all over are having, financial, difficulties. And so another county took over, the ambulance area so that they would put it on the taxes. So on everyone's taxes, they would pay an amount and that would go to that. Now, that would not be able to be in place if the county commissioners move in that direction. There is not anything saying that they are. They're just looking at it in Ottertail County. But if they did do that, that still would not come into place until probably 28. So, and Ringdale was we need finances now because the Pelican Rapids ambulance is over $100,000 in the negative now and only getting worse. They gave a couple of different numbers of what they were in the hole at the end of last year. So they are again asking for cities and townships to provide finances. There was a lot of different controversy on that. They do get some state funding, and so if the state and the county and the city all put money towards that, then we are triple taxing our residents. So that is a question that was brought up at that meeting. Then they are also stating the county is not putting anything towards it financially right now. So those are the kinds of things that were all discussed. No decision was made, and every township and city is on their own to make the decision of if they want to provide funding. The city of Vergas did provide funding 2 years ago, and they are asking for the city for $7,117 if they went by their population calculations. But they wanted to, when they said that they would, actually the townships asked them to send this out, stating what they would want from each entity. And Ringdale said, use this as a map. We would be more than happy to take more than that, and we will be happy if you give less than that.
Has Ringdale at these meetings, I've been talking with the county about this issue also. Have they they want public funds, but yet have they opened their books up for a full public disclosure and said, this is why we need $630,000?
They said that they wouldn't provide it to a public meeting, but if anyone wanted to sit down, come into Ringdale and sit down with their accountant, they would allow that. Or they invited anyone to do that.
I think 2 years ago, when we did contribute, what I was told or understood was some did and some didn't.
Correct.
But I don't think the service varied from those that did or those that didn't.
They legally cannot change service by if you provide funding or not.
There's still a moral obligation to respond. I know this was discussed at the fire board, and there was concerns of how they're counting people in an area, that they think it's a little skewed, and they are making it bigger than it is. In terms of funding and the fact that they can't provide anything, whereas the perm response had been very open about why they are in the hole and actually show the books. So there was concern. So there was no support at the fire board for additional money to be given to them. And the one is that Hobart already has to give because they're partly separated.
So Hobart is divided into Perham and
then
Ringgold.
And Candor is partly giving to Detroit Lakes because they are kind of split. But in their numbers, it looks like it's all there. But there is already some splits where 2 other ambulance services are getting funding from those townships.
And of course, Dean probably knows more about this than I do, but I mean, I think this is what I've been told by the county board members is that this is a statewide problem that needs to be addressed. Probably starting with the state. We need rural ambulance service. There's no question about that. Putting a car out here with some Band-Aids in it doesn't help somebody that's having a heart attack. You know,
That's cardiac.
and they need to figure out at the state, I thought that was their job, is how they're gonna fix this problem, and they don't seem to be able to get it done.
It seems like the biggest part of it is Medicare doesn't give you enough. And then when you bill individual people, they don't pay. And so that many of them maybe can't pay, if you don't have the insurance and what the cost.
But it also becomes a Washington problem that they need.
So the reimbursement just isn't there for the cost of services, and their number one service is 24/7 people on call to respond. They said it's a huge part of the budget. So that was just some of the background last night that was discussed at the fire board. Any are you wanting action? Do we need to respond, or we could just?
If you don't, if you're not going to give, there's no action needs to be taken. I just can't write the check without action, so that's. Okay, my second item is the insurance deductible right now. Me and our insurance agent Sherry Hansen are looking at next year's insurance. And so last year we discussed the deductible to lower because insurance rates went up about 14% last year. And they are looking at going up again. I have not heard what number that is yet. But so, and we were at a $1,000 deductible and we raised it to the $5,000 on our property. Now our equipment breakdown is at 2,500. And so all other things is still at 1,000. So this is the percentage of savings if you decide that you want to change your deductible. And if you don't, no action needs to be taken.
Or action could be taken at the time we receive the actual premium for the actual policy that will be renewing.
Right. September 1st is when our policy renews. So you have plenty of time. You could, we can look at this.
We don't know how much they're going up. We know they're going up, but we don't know the amount.
Correct.
I might suggest we get those details before we.
And see the difference in cost too.
Yeah.
Okay. Make said decision. Since we've got until September 1, we'll keep it on the agenda, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
Will do. Is there a certain number you want me to look at, like moving from 5 to 10,000, or do you want to go extreme and go past that?
Can we show a couple intervals?
Okay. Will do. All right, my next item that I do want action on is the resolution 2026-006, and that is to hire our election judges. Election is coming up quickly. August 11th and November 3rd, election judges. We in the past have paid our head election judge $17 an hour, the rest of the judges $15 an hour. And they work on August 11th and November 3rd, and then they will also have training. 2 hours of training for the regular judges and 3 hours of training for the extra judge.
Is there a motion to accept the resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I think I put this in my report, but just in case you aren't aware, the filing period, if somebody decides they'd like to be on the council next year, will be July 14th to the 28th. It is a shorter time period than they had in the past. I go to training on all of that on Friday, May 29th.
Any other questions of Julie? If not, I just wanted to give a little update. We did have a call with the Canadian Pacific Railroad. And there are a couple of grants available. And they were seeking support from the city of Vergas and Ottertail County to go ahead and proceed with applying for the two grants. One is got a rural focus, so just wanted you to be aware that we supported it. Did we send 3 letters of support? No, we sent
4 actually.
we sent 4 letters of support from different entities, the school, the city, fire and EMS. So the different things that are impacted when we can't get through on the railroad. So I think the applications are due in June. So they were proceeding based on our letters of support. That is the conclusion of our agenda.
One thing that you probably want to know.
Oh, okay, you had a report. Okay, sorry.
No, that was my fault. I do apologize. I've just been kind of busy. But in our yearly inspection of the boardwalk, it's noted that the holders that hold the boardwalk in place are pulling out of the sidewalls. It's a warranty issue in Minnesota boardwalks. So they act when they could, but they couldn't give me a time frame because they're busy.
So that still is warranty.
That stuff is warranty, yes.
How many are there? That seem to be,
I think 12.
oh, wow, a lot.
That's what he said in my thing. I don't know. I thought it was 10, but he said it was 12.
Help if the wind didn't blow 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mike. With that, we will go ahead and adjourn. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.